now listening to CHRISPIRACY.
Chris X Matt. Question everything.
Break the matrix.
We are the ones they fear.
If we don't make the change, it's never going to change.
CHRISPIRACY.
Yo, what's good, everyone? Welcome back to another session of CHRISPIRACY. I am your host, Chris X Matt. There's many Chris's out here, but there's only one Chris X Matt, and that is me. That is I. Thank you again so much for tuning into the only podcast where we continue to break the matrix. And I'll be breaking it again today for sure. Before I introduce my guest today, though, I just want to say shout out to everyone that's been tapping in. Shout out to everyone listening. Shout out to everyone that's been buying merch. I appreciate all you guys, for real. CHRISPIRACY.com. If you want to support me or the show, you could definitely go to CHRISPIRACY.com for that. We got 4 different designs for you guys. Pick your favorite one. If you guys want to, that's the only way to support the pod, basically. Buy you a shirt. I'll give you a little nice thank you card. I'll send it off to you. And yeah, shout out to you. And yeah, so shout out to everyone that's been tapping in, that's been reaching out, has been sharing. All the guests that have been coming on. Shout out to all you guys. Today's guest is actually part of the GG33 community, so I'm hype about that. We've had we've had members that have came on the show before. I've had Metal Rooster 8. He changed his username to Numbers Mechanic. That was episode, I believe, 10. I had him back in the day. I had Foul Out Zoo. You guys know Foul Out Zoo. I've had her twice on the show. Amazing people. And I had a former GG33 member as well. ML0338. We definitely had him on the show, and he broke down the manipulation of energy. So shout out to all these people that have been coming onto the show. I really do appreciate everyone. Thank you for bringing different eyes to my platform. I highly appreciate it. So today we're going all the way to New York. I'm in California. Our guest is in New York. You know, the worst states. It is what it is. But yeah, I'm excited about today's episode because I definitely been following her for a minute. I've seen this account plenty times. Just the username itself is it just draws you in. As soon as I seen Barbie Bricks, I was like, yo, what? Like, who Barbie Bricks? That's a fire name. So today on CHRISPIRACY, we're joined by the lovely Barbie Bricks, aka Kylie. How you doing today?
I am really well. How are you?
I am great. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I appreciate you.
Of course. I'm happy to be here, and I'm even happier now that I've heard there's so many GG people who have come on and talked to as well.
I've been trying to get Gary on here, and then Gary responded to me, and he told me, I'll have DC Numerology do the pod for you, bro. I'll make it happen. And I'm still waiting for that to happen, Gary. I'm still waiting, Gary. I'm still waiting. And I know DC's not going to just do anything Gary wants him to do. I understand that. But, hey, yo, I'm going to get Gary on here one day. I'm a 33 myself. He going to respect that.
Sure. Oh, you are?
Yes, I am.
Oh, cool. That's really cool. I always like meeting 33s. Yeah, so I've been in GG33 for a little while now. I actually was one of the scholarship winners.
So was Fala, yeah. That's dope.
Oh, yep. Yeah, it was crazy. I don't know if you followed then, but there was it was like a month-long battle basically between a bunch of people, and I made it to the final round, and then another girl had actually beat me out, and she went to gold, I went to silver, and then a few months into silver, Gary put me in gold.
There you go. That's what's up. Yeah, I remember you had that competition, and it was between like you, Josh. Josh got moved up too as well, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was when he moved silver to gold. It was another competition. Yeah, it's fun. I like Twitter. It's like my own little world.
No, it definitely is. But speaking of Twitter, then I really wanted to ask you, where did the inspiration for Barbie Bricks come from? Because I love that name. It's amazing. I ain't gonna lie, I love it.
Okay, so that name was given to me probably like 10 years ago by one of my close guy friends, because I was always like kind of called Barbie growing up, because I had like the long blonde hair and whatnot. And then just like some of the groups I was running with, with some bricks. I got coined the name Barbie Bricks.
Okay,
And
okay.
yeah, and then I actually never did anything with it until like probably 7 years later. I had created like one of those fake little Finstas just to, post the shit that I like to talk about without other people seeing it. And I'm like, oh, I gotta bring that name back, Barbie Bricks.
I love it.
Yeah, and then it kind of just stuck, and now everyone in GG calls me Barbie, and we have like our code names.
That's cool. I like it because it's like a mixture of like hard and soft at the same time.
Yep. Yeah. And
It's
meanwhile, I'm like, teaching spirituality under the name Barbie Bricks, which is pretty funny.
no,
But I guess
that's
that's my
fire.
style of teaching.
Yeah, see, I like that's why there's certain spiritual like communities and certain spiritual profile or accounts that I gravitate more to because they speak it how I like it spoken.
Yeah.
You get me? I don't like this
Yeah.
whole fake and be all nice and when girls start blinking their eyes all softly on the camera and saying something. I hate that. Like it draws me away so bad.
Yeah. No, I'm like a rebel teacher, right? Like for a long time when I first started and got into like the whole Kundalini community, I did follow all the rules to a T. But that's just not who I am. It's not who I ever have been. I don't really ever follow rules. So when I started teaching more, I kind of just, that's kind of what Kundalini is about, like finding out who you really are. And I just adapted who I am with this practice. And that's very much my teaching style. Like I never preached like perfection or being a certain way, which is really common in spiritual communities. There's a lot of rules in Kundalini as far as like you're supposed to wear white and like certain foods that you eat, and just like there's just a million rules. And yeah, I don't ever want to be that kind of teacher. I just want people to do their best, and if they miss a day, they miss a day. I really don't care, and I don't think it
Right.
I just don't think it matters. Like I think one of the worst things that can happen in the spiritual world, which is what I experienced, is like that feeling of guilt and shame when you fuck up. So I had to kind of go through it myself to really come into who I am as a teacher. And when I started teaching on a bigger scale, I realized like that's just not who I want to be. And that's also not the students I want to attract. I want to attract people who are kind of just go with the flow.
I like that. I like that because
yeah.
I do that to myself when I join certain groups. When I join certain I did a 21 day with the Deepak what is it, Deepak Chopra one.
Yeah.
I did that with Nicole. I don't know if you heard of Healing with Nicole, but I did that with her, and I kind of fell off the last few days. And when I did, I was like, I felt guilty. I was weighing it so hard on myself, and then like a few days passed by, and I'm telling myself, why? I did 17 days, and the last week it just got crazy. I got busy. I picked up a second job. I was doing extra shit, so it was just like I can't be mad at myself. So I like that. I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah, I think it's important. Like I learned that through this one experience I had where I started this one meditation, and basically the rule is in Kundalini, you do everything consecutive days in a row. And if you miss a day, you have to start at 1. So as you can imagine, like if you get really deep into a meditation and then you don't do it, it brings up like a lot of really horrible feelings. And I feel like that's not how spirituality should be. And we also have to remember like these teachings were brought here in the 70s and 80s, and it was a very different time than it is now. So I think that what I'm trying to do is make the practice more modern for the times that we're in. So basically my experience was I'm doing this like crazy 11-minute meditation. Your arms are over your head for 11 minutes. Like it's so challenging. It was a really life-changing experience for me. And my goal was to do 1 year straight. So 365 days.
Did you accomplish it?
I got to about maybe like 298. And for a while before then, I had felt that the meditation accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. But I was so attached to counting the days that I could not let go of it, even though I felt like I didn't need to still be doing it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was like really awakening moment where I realized, like, am I addicted to the meditation, or am I just addicted to like counting the days? Like, where, at what point is it like not even about the energy or the meditation anymore, and it's just like an ego trip of being like, well, I did this for 365 days
Wow.
straight. And it took a lot of courage for me to stop doing it. I wanted to stop for a while, but I couldn't get myself to stop because I had so much like fear and guilt around not getting to that 365. And that was like a very freeing moment for me when I just stopped and I didn't feel any guilt, any shame, and I'm just like, all right, I'm done with this one. And pretty much ever since then, I've just like really loosened up on a lot of aspects of my life, not just my meditation practice, but like with the food that I eat. And you know, like you get spiritual and you start to feel like I can't listen to like this music anymore.
Oh my gosh. Barbie, you're
And now,
speaking to me right now.
yeah, now it's like I can sit in my room and meditate for an hour and like have an out of body experience, and then I can get in my car and put on like some like,
Low frequency music.
yeah, like I can go put gangster rap on
Yes.
and ride around, and like it doesn't make me any less spiritual.
Thank
Like that
you.
whole thing is stupid, and it's like I can eat potato chips and not feel like I'm gonna die. Like
I don't know if I'm supposed to be hearing this right now because I went through the music part already where, you know, you still having an ego trip and you like, you know, you have a mushroom trip. You think, oh, I'm gonna start eliminating all these things from my life. So I stopped listening to certain music and I'm back listening to that music. But right now, the biggest thing is the food. You know, I haven't ate meat or dairy, anything like that the last, 3 years. And my body wants some chicken wings. And keep telling myself, nah, bro, don't do it. Don't do it. But it's like, but I'm exactly what you just said right now. It's like, am I really doing it because of health reasons, or am I doing it because I don't want to say I had meat again?
well, yeah, you know, you got to think like, is it fear based?
Mm.
So for me, like the food thing was a huge breakthrough for me as far as just like letting go of restrictions and like just finding balance in my life, because I ate like crazy
Mm-hmm.
straight for a long time. I mean, like at one point I ate only fruit for like 4 months.
Fire.
I ate raw vegan. It is fire. Like it's cool to have those experiences. I ate raw vegan for a full year.
Wow.
And I did heal a lot in my body, but I don't believe that that lifestyle is sustainable all the time. And I think it creates more of a mental and emotional addiction.
Mm.
Like I was just super addicted to like the identity that I had created around being so disciplined with food, because I do believe that if you can conquer food, it is like the hardest thing for people to accomplish in this lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to a point where I realized like, okay, I already hit that milestone. I have already conquered food. So if now I want to eat like something processed every once in a while, I'm not going to fall off the train and do what I did like 5 years ago, where then I'd be eating shit for like 2 months straight. Like I have the self control now that I can eat something every once in a while, and I know I'm not going to go down like a slippery slope, basically. So for me personally, the food thing has been like a real journey for me. And I can't even lie, it almost makes me like emotional, like just looking back at how hard it was for me to reintroduce certain foods into my diet because I was so scared of them.
That's where I'm at with it. That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah. Like I remember this one time, I'm like out to eat with friends, and like there were potato, like, you know, like roasted potatoes. And so I like start eating them, and I'm like, oh shit, these are fire. Like I'm going to town on these potatoes. Why do these taste so fucking good right now? And then the waitress comes over, and I'm like, are these cooked in olive oil? And she's like, no, butter. Well, this was the point where I'm like, I'm vegan. Like I felt sick. Like I was like hot. I'm like, I'm gonna get sick. I'm like gonna. I was so fearful of how this butter would make me feel. And then like I was fine. And I realized like there's so much fear. And I think if you want the chicken wings, you should just eat the fucking chicken wings, and then
Let's
you may never even want them again.
Yo, that's so true. That's so
Yeah, like
true. You know what's funny? The other day at work, they made some potatoes, right? They made some hash browns, and then I went to get a plate, and a few minutes later, I found out he cooked them in the same spot that they cooked the
oh,
bacon and the sausage, and I was just like, what? Like, nah.
yeah, like I mean, personally, like I don't have a desire to eat meat. It's just not something that I want. But if I wanted to, I would eat it. Like I've had I started having cravings for seafood. I started eating seafood, and then I don't know, I haven't had seafood in probably like 3 months. Like I just never I don't really want it anymore. I think it's like if you have a craving and your body wants something, just eat it.
Yeah.
See how you feel. And I also believe like if the body's healthy and we have like healthy chi and healthy energy running through the body, we should be able to handle foods. Like there's so much fear around like, oh, if I eat this, like I'm going to get so sick. Like, well, then you're not healthy.
Yeah.
If your body can't handle food, like then you're not right. So I'll be totally honest, like a few months ago, I did try meat because it was just like to me the perfect opportunity. It was my boyfriend's dad was like home cooking his favorite Jamaican meal. So I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna try it's meat. I'm gonna do it right now. And so I had oxtail. And oh my God, it was so good. It was so good. And I didn't get sick or anything. Like I was told my body handled it totally fine. So it's a good lesson. Like to me, spirituality is balance. It's releasing like all guilt
Yeah.
and all shame and fear, like releasing fear. So I was able to move a lot of fear out of me through this diet stuff because that was a prison for me for a long time.
And you just said it right now too. I say this every, like pretty much every episode on this podcast, where it really just balance. Like just
Mm-hmm.
balanced out the way you eat. Of course, if you're eating junk every day for a whole year, every day at 365, 24/7, then yeah, you're gonna get sick because it's a lot of processed food and a lot of mucus in the body. Yeah, of course you're gonna get sick. But then it's just you have to just it's really just balancing. And I know
For
that, and
sure.
I have to start doing that. And I have to be okay
So
with eating certain things and experiencing different
exactly.
cultures.
Yeah, I think, and like, uh, I think when things are like, what I have found is the energy of food is a lot stronger than like what the food actually is. So if something's cooked at home with love,
Mm,
who that to me, I'd rather eat that than like go out to a restaurant and have someone who's like pissed off in a
yeah.
badass food, like putting my food together. So the energy of food, that is what more people should pay attention to. But I'm sure you follow Ringmaster, yeah?
Of
Golden, he's
course. Yes. Mm-hmm.
so I remember that one time he posted a photo eating at Wendy's, and I'm thinking like, what the fuck, like fast food? And this was like before I was, like in GG and Deep Insights, but obviously there's certain things I can't say. But he has
Mm-hmm.
a whole newsletter on Deep Insights that kind of explains that Wendy's meal, and all I can say is like
Bars.
energy. Yeah. I can't really say too much, but I can just say like,
Wait, which account? I follow one of his accounts that's private that I signed up for. It's not one of the. It's the Deep Nights, huh? Not the other one.
are you in Deep Insights?
No. I'm in the other one. His numerology and astrology.
Oh, what's that, like 777 or something?
Yeah. I'm in that
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm in Deep and Deeper. And anyone listening, if he has spots, like life changing.
I
Life
bet.
changing.
I bet.
Yeah. The
Oh,
things I've learned from him.
okay, so we spent 20 minutes talking about food, which was not even a part of the outline, which I ain't mad about. I ain't even mad about it. But I wanted to ask, how did you step into your spiritual journey?
Okay, so that could be like a super long story. So I'll keep it kind of like Spark Notes.
Well, okay, well, hold on.
I-
Let me ask you this way: were you always the Barbie Bricks that we know today, or was that just a few years ago?
oh, hell no.
Okay.
Definitely not. Like I had no spiritual practice. I mean, I had
Mm.
yoga and stuff, but like the yoga was more because like I like to have physical movement,
Mm-hmm.
but no, I was never spiritual. But I met this couple who kind of introduced me to like some spiritual concepts, and they're pretty amazing. It's a husband and wife, and they own a business together that I work for, and like they've done just a lot of different spiritual things, and that like, started to open me up to some of the ideas of spirituality. And while that was happening, I was in just like a very low vibrational situation in my life, and just like very lost and stuck, you know, like the typical what everyone really goes through, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like a toxic relationship, right? Which
Yes.
can honestly be like some of the most expansive and beautiful situations if you go down the right path with those experiences, because they are meant to open you up. So I started to get really into just like hot vinyasa workout yoga, because for me that was like my escape from this relationship, right? It was like, okay, I can go to yoga every day, and like that hour I'm just like away from it all. And through building physical strength, I started to really like build some emotional strength. But this was not spiritual yoga. Like it's like namaste, love and light, like fake stuff.
Okay. Basic
But
yoga.
it was like the vehicle that got me into deep spirituality. So I finally like get out of this situation, which actually ended over yoga, because it was like, you know, some weird controlling, like you can't go to yoga type stuff. And I picked yoga.
Ah.
And a few days later, I went to California, and I had put out a tweet on Twitter. And I'm like, meanwhile, I don't really have like any followers at this point or like anything on Twitter. And I just asked for yoga in LA.
Mm-hmm.
And Blonde, do you follow her?
I don't, but I've definitely seen her account. The one with the bunny,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Blonde messages me, and her and I had talked before, because she owned a clothing line and I owned a clothing store. So at one point in my life, so we had like communicated like on fashion business stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And she invited me to Kundalini, and at that point, like I was so desperate, because I was like in therapy and like nothing was working. I just like felt I just was lost, right?
Yeah.
And like I'm spending like, you know, $300 a week on this therapy that's like only keeping my head above water
Wow.
for the hour that you're in therapy, because all you do is sit there and beat into the problem. Doesn't
$300?
Yeah, this lady was $150 an hour because it didn't go through insurance, and I was having to go twice a week. So like, yeah, I'm like spending a lot of money on like trying to fix myself, and
Right.
nothing's working. So I go to this first Kundalini class. It was February 27th, which is actually a 9-day.
Mm.
And I will say, like, it was the end of life as I knew it.
End of old, and endings coming to an end, and new beginnings, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. And I have chills after that day. Like, yeah, I never stopped. I went every single day that I was in LA, and then I just kept coming back to LA. Like every maybe 4 weeks, I'd fly back to LA. And then I started to build a relationship with the teacher, and that was really when I like just went like full speed ahead. And I pretty much followed Kundalini with like the most devoted dedication for about 3 years. And I was like, felt like I was in LA like most of the time because I was just trying to be in class as much as I could. And then, my teacher would come to New York, and then I started doing all of the trainings. And I became like, in the spiritual community, like the teacher will kind of like pick
A
the
protege,
student. Yeah, yeah. Like I definitely kind of became like the protege for sure. There's many,
right?
but we definitely developed like a really, really special relationship. And I was like beyond dedicated. Like I remember we'd be in New York, and it was like I would bring her to class every single day, and like she would text me and be like, "Okay, pick me up at 11:56." Like this is just kind of how these things work.
Mm-hmm.
And like she would expect that 11:56 I would be standing there waiting on the
Wow.
dot. But that's part of what they teach you. Like they teach you this discipline and this respect and this devotion.
Mm-hmm. And did you notice um did you notice how you would act when you wouldn't go to the class? Did you know, like, did you see the difference it would make when you would attend and when you wouldn't attend?
Um it was more like when I was in the physical presence of my teacher, my growth was accelerated like super super fast.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was at home, I was still practicing on my own. So it's not like I ever wasn't doing it, but I almost feel like I grew so fast because I would have these periods of time where I would just go into it. Like I'd go to LA for 2 weeks, and it's like those 2 weeks were dedicated to coming to every single class that she taught. And then I would be able to spend time with her outside of class. So it's almost like it wasn't just a steady thing. And it also, for me, because it wasn't available to me every day when it was, like I just put everything I had into it. I was so grateful for the time that I had. And I think that makes a huge difference.
Mm. And what do you think it was about the Kundalini yoga that really resonated with you, that you felt like this can help me out and this can fix me or change something about my trajectory in life?
Because you feel it. It's an experience. Like until you actually feel it, which uh, I'll have you come on my course and try one of the classes if you'd like.
Yes.
Yeah, because you have to experience it, and when you do, there's just no denying it. I mean, like physically, you start to feel like your crown chakra tingling and opening. Then you
Mm.
have these like mental changes that like I just the changes are undeniable. They're undeniable. So that's for me, like it just
Yeah.
works.
Yeah, I mean, the way Josh been talking about it, I'm just like, yo, bro, I'm about to sign up as well.
Yeah, I mean, this course has been crazy. Like I knew it was going to be good, but I really created it like in 2 hours on a whim. And so I didn't really have like any expectations for it. And um I know I'm a good teacher, but uh I guess I didn't realize I was this good.
Mm.
And I think that part of that is I'm just at a place now where like I know how to open myself to the energy, and I know how to have it come through me, and then I know how to place it around people.
Wow.
So yeah, the course has been really, really, really amazing. I think next month I have like 50 people signed up.
Damn.
Yeah, my goal was 22. So
You
yeah,
wa-
but that's the thing. Like that's Kundalini work. So right away when I created this course, it's like, okay, right away I'm going to start going into like uh heavy meditations that are going to expand my aura so that I can hold more students, because that's how it works. Like the bigger your energy field, the more students you can hold. So I started expanding myself more, and then I just started doing like all the prosperity like cash flow meditations as well.
Wow, that's interesting. And nothing else ever gave you the same feeling that this Kundalini has given you?
Never,
Mm,
never, never. Nothing even comes close. Like
that's
no,
powerful.
nothing in the world. I mean, they say like 40 years of like hatha yoga is equivalent to like an hour of kundalini yoga if it's done right with intention. I mean, there's a lot of people who come to kundalini and they don't feel anything. But some people are just not ready, right? This is
Right.
just not their time. If you're ready for it and you want to change and you want to have a deeper experience, yeah, kundalini yoga will put you on. It's like the difference between taking like a horse and buggy and then getting like on a rocket ship.
Mm. Now, do I have to have some type of experience, like
No.
a prerequisite of regular yoga?
No, everyone asks that, especially when they're like, I've never done yoga. First of all, like it's really not yoga. It's meditation. And they always say like there's no beginners in Kundalini because it's really just an experience of self. So I remember the first class I went to, I'm feeling like, oh, I'm gonna be so good at this, because at that point I was like deep into this like hot yoga, which is like literally like acrobatic yoga. I was like in pretty incredible shape at that point in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that shit does not matter. I mean, I have taught yoga or Kundalini to like professional athletes, and they have challenges with it because it's all energy, and it's like a lot of just holding your arms up and different things like that. It doesn't matter what shape you're in or this or that. It's very much an experience. And that's why like it doesn't matter if you're good at it or not, you're still going to have an experience.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm.
In, we sit in like the first thing she teaches is this like 11-minute chanting meditation. Now I had never meditated in my life, and I'm sitting there like the whole time like, what the fuck is this? I'm like looking around, people are like singing these weird words I've never heard, and like that 11 minutes felt like 11 hours to me, and I'm like, when is the singing gonna stop? So uh yeah, it doesn't matter whether you've done it or not, because then by the second class I went to, I was like immediately like I felt my kundalini rise in my second class.
Now, for those who are probably listening right now or maybe are confused from all this, how would you what's the best way to describe Kundalini? Like, what is Kundalini, and then how does it apply to the yoga aspect?
So kundalini is basically just like this dormant energy that's locked at the base of our spine,
Mm.
and then you awaken it, and it shoots up the spine, it opens the crown chakra, it gets all the other chakras in alignment and spinning, and it's like your personal power. You just wake it up, and it awakens so many different powers within you, like telepathy.
Ooh.
Like just all those type of psychic things. Like when your kundalini is activated, uh that just magic, miracles, all that, like that's just an everyday occurrence.
Would it help with my sciatica?
Yeah, actually somebody in the course just messaged me about that.
Really?
Yeah, she said that she has that pain that you just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And I taught a meditation the other night that you basically like meditate on all the negative, And then you take the power of the mind and you zero it out. And you go super, super deep. It's a 3-part meditation. The first part is this like crazy breath that gets you into that deep mental state. And then after you meditate on the negative, you start meditating on the positive. So I think that her negative, she's bringing up this pain. And then the third part of it is you focus on the one word. So health or painless, something like that. And like you really beam and project into that. And she messaged me after and she's like, I woke up for the first time with no pain.
Wow.
So that's crazy that you say that you bring that up, because I just taught that about 2 nights ago.
Yeah, I got injured earlier this year, and I was, I was on bed rest for like about a month where I couldn't really walk.
Oh, wow.
It was humbling. It taught me a lot about myself, and just in that situation, it taught me to, just ask for help from others. Many people are
Yep.
willing to help. I don't always have to do everything myself. I'm not
Yep.
used to relying on anybody even to, feed me. So it would really mess with my ego.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I think sometimes we have to go through those experiences to kind of release, you know,
Y-
those type of feelings, because I think it's really beautiful to ask people for help.
It is. It really is. And I was very surprised at how people were reaching out to me. It's because my mom ended up flying in because, moms, she gonna baby me. She's the only person that really gonna come take care of me like that. So she flew in from Florida. She was here. She was, took care of me for the month. And then
Oh, cute.
she started telling, my, just like, family members and just certain friends. And they were all hitting me up. Oh, next time you're feeling like that, I don't mind staying with you. Just let me know. Just let me know. And I was very surprised. I'm like, damn,
Wow.
you guys are really here for me. And I'm over here thinking that no one's gonna help me out.
Yeah. You know what we got to do? We got to create and beam and project into getting you a wife to
Oh
take care
man, trust. I'm getting the more spiritual too I get, the more pickier I'm getting. That's kind of sad.
You know what? There's no perfect partner.
There really isn't. And I don't go out as much, and
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you, Barbie. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm very shallow still too. You know,
Yeah.
I still focus on the flesh more than I do the spirit.
Well, I mean, I think it's important to be attracted to the person.
Correct. But sometimes, like, I feel like I've already met my partner, but because she doesn't look how I want her to look, it's not my partner.
Yeah, Ringmaster has a lot of really powerful tweets on things like that. Like sometimes we block our greatest blessing over something so small like that. I mean, it doesn't have to mean like you don't have to be with like an ugly girl.
No,
Sorry, this is so not
no.
spiritual. But I think that as you develop yourself spiritually, you start to see people differently. When you can see their energy field or their aura, you can feel them. Like, there's a lot of really beautiful people in this world that have some awful, awful auras.
Yes, that's a fact too. I fell for that one too. I fell for that trap.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the last
Yeah.
relationship
I
I
mean,
was in.
that's like the trap of the matrix, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they'll keep you down with shallow love. And
Man, she was a fine 11 LP. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought this was gonna be wifey, like for real, and then she ended up getting back with her baby daddy. I was like, damn, all right, say less.
nah, I think like it's definitely important to give some people a chance, because when you meet someone who maybe doesn't fit like the idea that you thought in your head, but she has like beautiful feminine energy and she knows how to wrap you in energy and take care of you and be a woman, like
Yeah.
that's a different experience. And that is someone who regardless of what they look like, their energy makes them so beautiful. Like that's that person that just like you're around them and like you tingle, like you feel their energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's so rare, but they're out there.
No, definitely, definitely. I'm
Just
looking,
gotta go to a Kundalini class. There's a
man.
lot of
Yeah,
beautiful there.
I need to try that. I've been going a lot to like the vegan events and stuff like that.
Yeah,
They definitely in there. They're definitely in there.
yeah.
I just hate how men have this stigma too, where they think we're only in there because we're trying to get at them.
Not so much in a
No,
Kundalini studio. Are you in LA?
I'm in Riverside.
Is that close to LA?
About 45 minutes.
I would take yourself to Rama in Venice and go to a Kundalini yoga class. A lot of men are there. There's a lot of men that go.
Rama.
Rama, Rama.
I'm gonna look into that. I'm taking somebody too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh my God. Doing Kundalini with someone. Wow. Like
Damn.
beautiful, beautiful experience.
Damn, I'm over here getting all vulnerable. I barely even talk about my my status.
Welcome to talking to me. All of a sudden, I have people opening up about their.
Nah, man, it's cool. You're bringing out a different side of me, but I've been saying this. I've been saying this. I have this little insider on the pod where I've been saying, and people always bring it up to me. I'm really looking for. I want someone. I want an Aries woman born on the 22nd and a 5
Oh my God.
LP and a 5 LP.
My boyfriend's born on the 22nd, but
Wow.
let me tell you something. Just let go of all that.
I
And
know.
I think the most powerful way to bring a partner in is not things like that. It's more meditating and beaming into how you want to feel. Like what's the experience that you want to have from this person? Because yeah, like having someone born on a 22 day is an amazing experience because you're getting this really powerful master energy. And I know that it has helped me, like especially with building and creating this teaching platform.
Mm-hmm.
Like I am pulling that 22 energy in, but it's more so think about how you want to feel. What is the big experience that you want to have from someone, and then meditate on that, because then when you meet that person and they bring that to you, it's a familiar experience, and then you know, like, oh, okay, this is it.
And that's why I said earlier where I think I have found that, but because she doesn't meet the standards physically to me, I'm blocking
Mhm.
that blessing from happening. And the sad thing is that she isn't even like, oh my gosh, she's ugly as hell, bro. Why even? It's not even like that, but it's just still not to my standards of how I like them physically. And that's where I mean where I feel like I'm blocking my blessing, because I do know someone that treats me well. That when I am sick, she gonna pull up, and if I ask her, she gonna do something for me.
Yeah.
She's very spiritual. We have the same viewpoints, even when it comes to if we ever had kids, we would be on the same page against on not getting them vaccinated, on
Yep.
homeschooling them, on certain things. So I know that she's like
Oh
she's at a hand's
shit,
reach.
that's the most important thing right
That's what
now.
I
Like
mean,
what?
Barbie.
That's
But I'm just so shallow still. That's what I don't know. I know it,
nah,
but I
that
can't.
is at this time and age, it's time to let everything else go, because right now is like the fucking do or die, right? Like we are entering into this period of time on this earth where it's like the people who have these beliefs need to get together. They need to create more people that have these beliefs, that have this higher frequency and energy. Like that is doing a service to humanity, to align yourself with someone who has beliefs on our side, because we're
Yeah.
divided right now. And I think the other thing to ask yourself is the standard that you want for you, or is it because you care what other people think of you?
Definitely for me, but I also know
Okay.
it's because of how I've been programmed based off just society standards too.
Yeah, I mean everyone wants like that bad bitch, right? Like this my girl, but like you know what?
Yes and no. Yes and no. I just want someone that's attractive to me, and
Okay.
that's all I really ask for. And this person, she's not ugly. Like I'm not like there's. And I've even told her this because we have, we messed around a little bit, and I even told her like I don't want to continue doing this because I am a guy, and I honestly I do want to get my nut off, but I don't want to do you like that. Cause I know I really do fuck with you. We have a dope friendship, and I don't want to ruin what we already got. So I didn't take
Yeah.
it further because she is a good person, but what she needs, I can't give it to her right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's great. Like if you're honest, kudos, because most people aren't. So you're ahead of the game. But I do think we're programmed into this society now to like, I mean, they want to break up the family. So
Oh
anything
yeah.
that's
Mm-hmm.
against love or monogamy is going to be like really pushed hard. And uh, unified relationship, like that's really deep,
Yeah.
really, really deep,
And-
is incredibly powerful, really, really strong.
And that's the example I've had my whole life. My parents, that's the example that they've given me my whole life. So
Hmm.
I'm like seeking for what they have, but if I was seeking what they have, like I would have already settled with someone.
Right. I mean, I think you should start doing Kundalini. You will be amazed, like how things that you want come to you.
I'm gonna take your invite for sure.
Okay,
For
good,
sure.
good.
For
Yeah,
sure.
you can join on, and yeah, I mean, September was like pretty much all about radiance, which is the radiant body. It's a golden energetic ribbon that wraps around the aura, and like that's basically your protective shield, but it's also the magnet that brings opportunities to you.
Mm-hmm.
So it will bring what you need, and it will also repel what's not for you.
Mm.
So that's what September has been all about, is building that magnetism up.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
What do you have in store for October?
So October is going to be very much about healing the home, family patterns, ancestral karma.
Mm.
It'll be a little deeper. But I think like people who are finding me and finding these classes are ready for that, because I also think like even if you grow up in a family where your parents are still together in love, like mine have been together for, you know, 50 years,
Mm-hmm.
and they still like go on dates and they eat dinner together
Yep.
every night. My dad drives my mom to work every single day,
That's
but like even through that, like there's still a lot of shit underneath the surface, right? And we pick up a lot of that shit, and it affects our relationships. And I really think until you start to heal those patterns, um, it affects you. It's about becoming yourself instead of becoming
them.
them. Exactly.
Ah, there it is.
Yeah.
Wow, awakening.
And like
Definitely
they're
just had an
so,
awakening.
yeah, instead of becoming them, because I love my parents, but like there are so many times, more so now than ever, because I think when I'm about to teach something,
Mm-hmm.
it will come up really strong in me so that I can go through it, because I can only teach from what I've experienced personally. That's the only way I'll ever teach anything, is if I've gone through it myself. So the past few months, it's been like I am becoming my mom, right?
Yeah.
And I've been really working on healing that, because I don't, that's not who I want to be in my relationship that I'm in right now. So when you can become aware of the patterns, especially before they set in, it's really powerful, because there's times where like I will literally have the exact reaction that my mom would have towards my dad growing up. And afterwards, after I'm out of it, I'm like, what the fuck was that? And like, but it's so cool to have that awareness, because I can just like look at my person and be like, I am so fucking sorry. Like, I'm not going to do that again. That was me. That was all me. And Osho, like, I follow a lot of Osho teachings. He always says in every relationship, it's always a me problem.
Wow. Yeah.
You never blame the other person. Always look at yourself.
Relationships are a lot of work, huh?
They are, but they're also an opportunity to go deeper into yourself. And I think if you look at relationships like that, then they're not like chaotic. It's more like I read something today that was like, love is really just an experience of oneself within oneself.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Like it's just a mirror for you to grow.
Yeah.
So if you know how to take responsibility for yourself and for your behaviors, and then
Mm-hmm.
change where you need to change and grow and release the ego. And I mean, there's this one amazing Kundalini teacher, talks all the time about like what's the real problem in relationships. It's just that you want to be right.
Oh yeah, simple.
So if even one person has learned to drop the ego and doesn't feel that need to be right, the relationship's not going to be chaos.
Mm. Yeah, I see. I've obviously, I think I get scared to get into a relationship because of all the unhappy relationships that are around me. And I know I can't just project off of other people's relationship and be scared for that reason, but even the couples that I think are doing good, when I start finding out, like I know I understand there's problems in a lot of in every relationship, but
Mhm.
I start finding out, oh, y'all don't really like each other like that. Y'all just putting up with y'all just putting up with each other because you don't want another baby daddy, or you can't find another girl. I don't. It's just weird stuff when I start finding out, like, oh, y'all really do fight like that. I'm over here thinking y'all couple goals
I
and
know.
y'all not.
No, most people aren't. I think it's really important to understand that nobody can give you advice on your relationship except for you, because everyone's in the relationship that they need to be in to grow or this or that. Some people just get stuck in them and don't know how to get out and move on.
Mm-hmm.
But I personally have come to a point, and Gary says this all the time, like there's like, those astrologers out there that are like divorced giving relationship advice. Everybody needs to stop taking advice from people who haven't accomplished what they want. So, personally, for me, I found one person who has accomplished what I want in life. And she is one of the only people that I'm going to take advice from, because she actually has a beautiful, happy marriage. And they're older, they're like 50, 60. And I'm telling you, they act like they're 18, 19 in love. Like it's just beautiful.
Yeah, that's nice.
So it's important to not compare relationships, and then obviously definitely take advice from people who have not figured it out. And yeah, I credit that to Gary because he is funny with that. Like,
Oh yeah, he stayed talking shit about taking advice from
yeah, like,
whores.
yeah, like relationship gurus. Yeah, like they've had 2 divorces. Like, probably shouldn't be teaching about that. So yeah.
And a lot of that stuff is kind of, it's not common sense, but when he says it, when and it hits me, it's kind of like to me it's like duh. Like
I know,
I feel
I
like
know.
if you're having a bunch of kids from different people, like you're giving your energy to a lot of people, and it gets ugly. Like your womb gets fucked up. Like so I get it when he says, like my mom always just been with she's only been with they've only been with each other actually. So there's like,
Wow,
two,
beautiful.
yeah, it's nice. And we were born into a loving family of people that actually wanted to have kids and raise kids, and they were happy with however many they ended up having. And, I've been blessed my whole life. And
Hmm.
I know we said not to be them, and I understand. Like again, now when you said that, it's like, damn, I kind of do try to emulate them a little bit, but I just feel like I've had the best example of I could have had. I have parents that really do love each other. I have a dad that's taught me
Yeah.
great morals, not a womanizer, never checked
Mhm.
out girls in front of us or in front of my, like it's crazy.
Well, I think it's about having that awareness to pick, like, okay, what were the positives that they taught me? I want to implement that. And then what were their mistakes?
Mm-hmm.
And then just making sure that you don't repeat those same patterns. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I look at the mistakes that my parents have made, and instead of making the same mistakes, which like my older sister did,
Yeah.
like she literally has repeated the exact karmic pattern. And I
Mm,
won't even get into the details, but I just made sure that that was not going to be me.
I like that. I like that you're trying to. I like that. Yeah, I like people that have a lot of self awareness about themselves. And you definitely sound like you're like you very well. I can tell.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel like I spend a lot of time analyzing myself, but that's like, if you can be your own self psychologist,
Whoa, yeah,
it's that's all it is. And the thing is, if people are like failing, or they're being crazy, or they're in this relationship or that or this, like, well, you're not a good self psychologist. And that comes
mm,
with like the ego, because you can't actually take accountability for your wrongs. Like I still fuck up, I'm not perfect, even though I teach Kundalini yoga and I have my own practice of Kundalini yoga myself. Like, I still slip up and get in like attitude moods and this and that. But the thing is like, how quickly can you pull yourself out of it?
Yep.
And that comes with being your own analyst. Like, if you can quickly analyze the situation and your behaviors, then the quicker you can get out of it. And I'm at like a record high now. Like, I can get myself out of it in like 20 minutes.
Yeah. There's times when I do certain things too, and then right after I'm like, why did I do that? Like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm my own biggest critic, and not in a bad way, because I'm never talking shit to myself like, oh, you're trash. Why you do that? You shouldn't. It's never like that, but it's definitely maybe I should have gone about it this way. Maybe I should have said it this way. Maybe always a bunch of analyzing myself.
I think analyze yourself without like guilt or shame, and like lots of self-forgiveness. And each time I mess up, I'm like, okay, amazing. Like, now I know. I'm like grateful for the times I fuck up, because it shows me. Every time I throw a temper tantrum like my mom used to do. I'm sorry, Mom, if you listen to this. She probably won't. Like, okay, good. Like, I remember like recently I had one that was like, I'm like stomping around the house, and then I'm laying there afterwards and I'm like, literally just like took myself back into my childhood, and I could like hear my mom stomping around the house, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. We do the same.
Well, Kylie, we're approaching the hour mark, and before I let you go, I wanted to ask, how did you come across GG33? How did that connection happen?
That happened with Blonde too. So
Oh.
Blonde and I met, and like, you know, they say like earth angels.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she was definitely sent to me,
Okay.
and she really helped me. Like, she showed me Kundalini. She introduced me to GG33 because she had just joined when her and I met. And I remember like,
Wait, hold on. What was the first thing that she said that kind of made you feel like, wait, what is this? Like, hold on, where you getting this from?
right when she like told me my life path, I was like, oh,
What is your life
okay,
path?
I'm an 8.
Ooh, money. What's your day
I'm an 8.
energy?
9 day.
Mm.
So right away, like, it just all made sense. And then like, it just all made sense. And then, you know, she started talking about the deeper stuff, and like there was so much that she like couldn't tell me, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so curious, and she's like, just start following them. And so like I just started repping GG even when I wasn't GG. I think at one point people thought I was in it when I wasn't.
Wow.
And I think that was like kind of what had gotten Gary's attention. And then addition, obviously, like Blonde was putting in the good word and stuff, because, you know, Gary likes people that are loyal, and like that is who I am. Like, I am ride or die. If I'm with you, I am with you.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, that's how I found GG. And then when I finally, like, I always knew I was going to be in it, I just didn't know how or when.
They be pricey as fuck.
It is pricey, I'll tell you. It's worth it, like the
Mm-hmm.
knowledge that you gain. And what else is really worth it is deep insights
Yeah,
beyond. Just,
I bet.
he is like, sometimes I wonder if he's human.
That's
Because
right though. Like he does have like this mystique to him.
he is human. I will say that.
You met him?
No, I've never met him, but
Okay.
through learning from him, like, he's helped me in a lot of ways, and he's actually been helping me with this course as well. And he's just a really amazing teacher, and it's a great frequency to attach yourself to. Like, that's what I noticed with GG, is like, it's something that people like hate on or this or that, because it's like beyond their comprehension. And when you join it, like, you join a frequency. And then not only that, like, the people I've met through GG, have been life-changing. Like, I talk to Josh Metal Rooster every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And then in addition to that, like, my course would not be what it is if it wasn't for my affiliation with Gigi.
Correct. Yeah.
That's for sure.
The
So
network.
it's a network, and I'm super, super grateful for it. So I think anybody who's like in this field should join. And I think it's about to close. Like, Gary's been talking about that.
Yeah.
So
January 20 Tiger Year 2022.
oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, that was my introduction to Gigi.
Yo, I don't know if you can answer this or not, but I have a feeling that Big Sean and Janae Aiko are part of GG33.
Oh, I have no idea.
No, you don't know.
No, I have no idea. I'm like, I know there's some athletes and stuff too. I don't know. I don't know who they are, but
I
check
have
their
a feeling. I was watching you watched the architectural that I think on YouTube. It's called AD.
Oh no, where was their house on it?
It was Big Sean's house, but right when he brought the camera crew in, and right when they walk in, he shows like his altar, and he has a dragon on there, and he's like, "Oh, I'm a dragon," and I'm just like, "Oh, this guy is definitely GG."
Maybe. I mean, like, you look at like some athletes' jersey numbers, you'll know if they're GG33 or if they're GG33 affiliated. Maybe they have a girlfriend.
Yeah, like Andre Iguodala, he definitely GG33.
What's his jersey number?
28.
Yeah.
I'm-
So
Yeah,
I think that maybe they're GG33. I don't know, but
I know.
if
It's just
they're
funny to
not,
assume.
maybe they're following Gary. I think there's a lot of people that follow. Like, before I was even GG33, you can learn so much just from his Twitter. So
Oh, for sure. That's what really got. You know what? I'm Gary, because of when I heard Gary on the Tinfoil Hat podcast. This was back 2019. This is when I first came across numerology and GG33. When I came across that, and I came across his page and his community, I was like, oh, like that's when it finally gave into spirituality. Because I said, this is the type of talk that I like. The way he's saying it, the way he's very alpha and masculine. It ain't no, because usually astrology and all this stuff is, is women is ruled by women,
right.
basically. Yeah. So when I saw a man that was really in his bag and knew what he was talking about and all this information, and I started going through all his interviews, started going through all his tweets, all his old Twitters, and I think Cat Energy put out some like the tweets of Gary, volume 1 and 2, and I was going through those, and I'm just like, yo, this guy is amazing. Like he knows what he's talking about. And
Oh yeah, it's
it opened
different.
me
It's
up.
different. There nobody has figured out the things that he's figured out. And so like, I also sell those spray bottles.
That's good thing you brought that up because I have it on my list.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I started that with Blonde, and we imprinted the energy of it on an 8/28 day, and like, we'll literally post those bottles, and like, we have done like zero marketing, like nothing. Our website is like the most basic Shopify thing, right? Like, we don't put work into like the things that would make you sell things, and like, we cannot keep those bottles in stock. Like, we sell out within like 3 hours every time we restock, and
That's
we
fire.
sell a lot of bottles.
That's
So
fire.
yeah, 8/28, like, that's to me, like, if the energy is behind it, it's gonna be successful.
I gotta turn up because I'm a 28 born and a 33. You gotta turn
Oh,
up.
yeah, you gotta tap in.
No, yeah, I'm trying to get this podcast off the ground. That's the thing. But it's just about building your audience, and this year alone, this podcast, CHRISPIRACY, has definitely elevated just my brand and myself.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful for it. Thankful for everybody that's coming on here.
Well, let's see what happens when you start Kundalini, and we start like beaming and projecting and becoming more magnetic, because for me right now, like, that's my focus, is making myself as big as I can energetically, and then just every day asking, like, okay, bring me exactly who needs me.
Hey,
So say, bring me exactly who needs to hear this podcast. They will come. They will come.
I feel like you just even agreeing to do it is you're. I found you. I mean, I don't know how do you say it. Like you came into my presence now for a reason. That's why I'm gonna take up your invite, and I'm definitely gonna have some chicken wings for sure.
That's hilarious.
Definitely.
Oh
Because
my god. If my like self 4 years ago could have heard this, I would have been cringing. Like I told somebody chicken wings, but honestly, like
you didn't tell me to eat it. You just say do what your body tells you to do,
just
basically.
do
Yeah.
whatever you want.
There you
It's
go.
like, yeah, I think everybody should just do whatever they want. Because if you're energetically high and like you are in a positive frequency, whatever you do is going to be good. Like if you're
Mm-hmm.
a shitty low person, then maybe don't do whatever you want because you're probably going to do some stupid stuff. But try to just if you're good, you can trust yourself.
And I will. I will continue to trust myself fully, for
Good.
sure. For sure.
So okay, so when we get off this, you gotta request the Instagram page. It's the Angel Course on Instagram.
Okay.
And then I will accept you, and you'll have access to everything that I've taught this month.
Okay.
Everything's saved. Yeah, the whole everything I've taught is saved throughout the whole month of September.
Okay.
So you can have a little fun just going through it, and
Oh, I will. Trust.
yeah,
Trust
and
me.
then you'll have to hit up Josh because Josh has been like deep into it. And that's what's cool is I also like when I say like bring whoever needs me, it's like also bring me people who are ready for this. Like I don't want some bullshit students. Like I want people who actually can experience this energy. And
Yeah.
it's been really cool like having people find me through Twitter for this course because it's like those are people that are ready. Those are people that are following GG people and like want to know more about
Yeah.
this energy and stuff. Like they're ready for it.
Yeah. I agree. That network is very powerful.
Yeah, thank you, Gary.
Well, thank you, Barbie Bricks. I really do appreciate
Thank
your
you.
time. It was an amazing convo. It exceeded my expectations. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay, good. That makes me happy. I always want to over deliver.
When you get me off my outline and I start talking to being more vulnerable, like you did a good job, not just me.
Good. All right. Thank you so much.
All right, Kylie. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yeah, the Angel Course, Barbie Bricks. They can hit you up and sign up for the course. You have how many spots open for October?
I am full for October.
Okay.
So if people want to get in for November, which actually the theme for November is going to be all like a cult opening, that would be a good month to get in. So yeah, message me and I'll get you a spot for November for anyone that's listening.
And there you guys have it. I appreciate you, Kylie. Thank you so much again. And I will talk to you soon.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, take care.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Yes, sir. Barbie Bricks, y'all. That's the hardest name. I don't care. Yo, she has the hardest name out of all the guests on CHRISPIRACY. I ain't gonna cap. I ain't even gonna cap. Barbie Bricks? Man, that name alone. When I found that account and I saw her name was Barbie Bricks, and then I seen that she was a blonde chick and she was teaching spirituality, to me it's like, oh, okay, she know. Like she has that mixture of being like hard and soft at the same time. Pause, but you know what I mean. I fucks with that username. I love the things that she be tweeting, and I've been seeing her promote this new course, and I haven't tapped in, but she has given me an invitation, and I will definitely be tapping in. And this is why I love CHRISPIRACY. This is why I love my show. This is why I love my podcast, because I make so many relationships off this podcast. It's really, I'm not that type of person that just walks up to people and just starts talking to them, having a conversation. Me having a podcast gives me a reason to reach out to people without having a reason to reach out to people, to be honest. Because I do a podcast, I don't feel like trash reaching out to someone that I've never met before, because in their head they might be thinking, who the fuck is this guy? Like, what's his little show? And they're trying to get me on their pod and shit. But when I reach out to people, it's like an icebreaker where, yo, I have this pod. It'll be an honor for you to come on here. And you know what's crazy? I wanted to ask Barbie Bricks a long time ago to come on the show, but I just figured maybe she won't do it. I always thought she was one of the higher ups in GG33, so I'm kind of figuring like maybe she won't accept to come on the show. And I'm at this point too now where I'm just asking. I'm gonna ask who I want on this pod to be on this pod, and if they say no, they say no. That's the worst they can say is no. And I ain't gonna lie, I've been chasing one guest for a minute. I ain't gonna say his name because y'all might turn around and go book him. Y'all can book him after I have him, but yo, you gotta chill. But I definitely have someone in mind that I've been months already, 2 months, and it's not every day I'm reaching in, like tapping in, talking about, yo, can you come today? Can you come today? It's not even like that. It's more so that I just reach out periodically. I reach out maybe, like if I reach out today, I won't reach out maybe for another 3 weeks, maybe to a month. And he responds back, and then we just never align it. He's agreed to come on the pod. We just haven't picked a date and a time, and yeah. And I don't stress too much about it because someone's always gonna come on the pod. And if no one comes on the pod, I'm gonna give y'all this solo episode. I don't give a fuck. I spoiled all the listeners on CHRISPIRACY because this show was not supposed to be guest based, but I said, you know what? Let me do a guest based and let me talk to people that can even teach me some things. That's why I really love my pod and I love my platform because I continue to learn on this shit. I continue to expand my mind and my knowledge. I continue to expand all this shit. I'm meeting new people. I'm connecting with people. Like, she's in New York. Josh is in New York. So many people follow us in DC. And shout out to all the GG33 that has come on here. Speaking of GG33, Gary Grimberg. If any of your followers are listening to this right now, if any of your students are listening to this, please send it to Gary. Tap in with Gary and tell him that Chris X Matt, CHRISPIRACY 33 wants to talk to him. Because that man changed my life. That man gave me a bunch of knowledge that no other person has given me. That man had put me and he has made me, embark in the spiritual journey for sure. Numerology to astrology. His network has all the best of the best. If you want to learn about tarot, tap in with GG33. If you want to learn about numerology, tap in with GG33. If you want to learn about numerology though, it has to be GG33. There's no other source to get your numerology from. Yes, the books might give you some things, but what Gary's going to give you, what GG33 is going to give you is stuff that you can't find anywhere. So if you're numerology based, GG33. If you want some of the best astrologers, GG33. If you want some of the best sports bettors, handicappers, GG33. Yo, that man has built that network up to be what it is and is respectable and it's a high frequency, like Barbie said. When you join GG33, you're joining a frequency. Yo, shout out to Barbie Bricks again. This was an amazing conversation. She got me out of my comfort zone. She got me talking about some shit that I don't really be talking about. But it's maybe I needed to hear that because yo, Kid Tony or Dennis B. Messiah, if you listening to this, you know that I've been wanting some chicken wings. I've been wanting some wings. That consistency, the bone ones though, because I ain't gonna get no boneless wings. That's cauliflower wings to me. I just do cauliflower wings. I do some other shit, but that bone, biting the meat off the bone. I don't know if I should pause that or not. So if your mind's in the gutter, pause. But if not, continue. And maybe I should eat the chicken wings because like Barbie said, like, am I really doing it because of some health reasons? Because if I had chicken wings one time, I ain't gonna die. It ain't gonna be the worst for my health. But why is it so hard for me to eat the chicken wings? Is it because I'm guilty? And yes, I am guilty. And I don't want to mess up my streak of not eating any animals. But that's a bullshit excuse to not even eat what I want to eat. And like she said, maybe I'll have the chicken wings and I probably won't even fuck with it. But that's why I hate saying that I'm vegan. I hate that shit. I hate that. I cringe when when someone asks me, "Oh, so you vegan?" It's like, if you want to put a label on it, I guess, yeah, I don't eat any animal products. So by definition, I guess that makes me vegan. But when people assume that when people know you're vegan, they assume that you're healthy. They assume that you're super cautious about what's going into your body. Me personally, I am. Because even when I'm eating soy, when I'm eating some gluten, I know what's going into my body. I don't act naive to it. And I tell people all the time, if you're going to stop eating meat, to start eating all the mock meats, all the soy-based meats, the Impossible shit, the Beyond shit, anything that has to do with the heavy soy-based, don't stop eating meat. don't stop eating meat. The thing about meat is that we don't know where the fuck is coming from. We don't even know if it's real meat or not. There's no way there's enough animals out here to feed the whole world every day. The way we eat, the way we consume meat. There's just no way without them cloning some shit, without them GMOing some shit. There's just no way. But just because you're vegan doesn't mean you're healthy. I still eat chips when I want to eat chips. Wait, hold on. Even when I say that, I'm very picky on the chips that I eat. I definitely still read the ingredients on the chips. I don't really care about all the big words and shit like that. If I see that it has milk in the chips, I won't eat them. If it's anything else, I'll eat them. So I still eat a lot of kettle corn chips. They ain't the best for you. I still eat a lot of bread, tortillas. That starch ain't the best for you. I still eat a lot of rice. That ain't the best for you. So I don't like people getting it fucked up that I'm this very over the top health guru that I'll only eat fruits and veggies and I don't consume anything else and I'm doing exercise and all this shit. Cause that's honestly what the most important thing too is exercise and moving your body. And I don't do that a lot. I hate working out. I hate getting up and having to run and shit. I hate having any of that shit. I don't like feeling tired. That's crazy, but I don't like working up a sweat. If you ain't fucking, I don't want to work up a sweat. I don't even fuck like that either, though. Oh man. I really enjoyed this conversation. Shout out to Barbie Bricks. Thank you for the invitation. I would definitely be tapping in with you because I'm open to the Kundalini. I've never done it. I've done yoga a few times. You know, I have a homegirl that shout out to Itty Bitty Jasmine, my homegirl Jasmine. She does yoga here in Riverside. If you're in the Riverside area and you're looking for like a little yoga instructor, teacher, definitely tap in with her. It's not Kundalini yoga. And I don't even really know what Kundalini yoga is fully, but I'm down. I'm down and I take people's words for it. Metal Rooster has been preaching about Barbie Bricks' course. So I got the invitation. I'm in. Let's get it. 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 But yeah, if you guys aren't familiar with GG33, go tap in with GG33. The only thing, and I forgot to even ask her with the number shit and astrology shit. I think that sometimes people get so caught up in how do you say it? In the energy behind certain things that it completely clouds their head and they don't allow anything else to maybe be an option or maybe be this way too and then that way. Like for example, right? I think I've said this an example before too. On 7 days, according to the GG33 and according to numerology, 7 days you should not be working out. You should not be doing any type of physical activity. 7 days are for knowledge. 7 days are to be at home, be in nature, be chilling out. It's a break. It's a break, basically a mental break, or a day where you learn some shit, like studies or some type of knowledge. You watch a documentary or something, read a book, whatever. 7 days aren't meant for working out, playing sports, and doing all that crazy stuff. But if you're, because I'm gonna use myself for as an example, even further, because I never went to physical therapy or the chiropractor on 7 days. Ever. And I don't know if, I'm not really working out, but I wasn't doing anything that had to do like with fixing my body on 7 days. Anything that had to do with physical body, I was not touching it on 7 days. So when I would have appointments scheduled on 7 days, and 7 days would be any overall day that's a 7, or like the 7th, the 16th, and the 25th. So I would never go to the chiropractor or physical therapy on those days. But I'm putting that belief into my head though. I have that belief in my head that on this 7 day, I should not be running. I should not be working now. I shouldn't be doing none of that. I should just be sticking to the studies, the books, the knowledge, whatever. So let's say that I do decide to go running on a 7 day this time. And in my head, in the back of my head, I start thinking, should I really go on this run though? It's a 7 day. What if I get hurt? What if I sprain my ankle? What if I fall down today and I scrape my knee or something? And you already having those second thoughts in your head because you know that you're not supposed to be working out today because it's a 7-day, it might create the actual injury. What about everybody else that works out on 7 days and shit like that and they don't get injured? Is it because they don't have that same belief in their head? And that's when it starts getting tricky. When the energies don't start aligning with the actual individual, that's when it gets tricky for me. But when I found out what a 33 was, when I found out what being born on the 28 means, it resonated to me. I was like, yo, that's me. That's really me. That's always been me. So there is some truth behind all this shit. I just don't get caught up in it. And at the end of the day, like I've been saying, the power of belief to me is the strongest thing. Whatever you put into your mind, whatever you really strongly believe, those intentions, they manifest. Your thoughts do become reality. So, but that's a whole different pod. And at the end of the day, this numerology shit did change my life. It changed my life, and I apply it as much as I can. And when I do remember to apply it, to my life, when I fly and when I take flights or when I travel, it's definitely on 5 days, and I make sure of it. When I what is it? What other days are it? On 8 days, I haven't done this in a while, but usually on 8 days is when I would go play the lotto, go get some scratchers. It's crazy. I dropped this podcast, CHRISPIRACY, on July 22nd, 2021, which is a 33-day overall and a 22-day. That double master energy. I love numerology. I love numbers. I love numerology. And I give all that credit to Gary and Gigi33. So Gary and students of Gary, if you're listening to this still, please tell him to come on the pod. He said he was gonna do no, wait, hold on. He didn't say he was gonna do it. He said he was gonna have DC numerology do it, but I understand that no one can make another man do what they don't want to do. So DC, I don't expect you to do this show, but my good brother, come on the show. Let's get this shit cracking. If y'all listening to this, everyone at DC Numerology and Occult Rebel, I think they suspended his account, so I don't know his new account. Damn it. But definitely DC Numerology, at DC Numerology. I need him on the pod. I got Barbie Bricks. I've had Mental Rooster. I've had Foul Azul. I've had ML0338. We're going to keep getting these GG33 people on here. I swear we are. I swear we are. But yeah, I'm about to get out of here. About to get something to eat. Actually not get something to eat. I actually just made some food, but I didn't get to eat any because I came to do this pod. So yeah, definitely some lentil soup too. When I have these chicken wings, I'm definitely gonna post them and I'm gonna say inspired by Barbie, by Barbie Bricks. But yeah, this is a reminder that you should not be hard on yourself. Balance really is everything. We say this a lot on this pod. Balance, 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 balance. Fucking balance. So on that note, I want to give thanks to everyone that's really tapped in. I appreciate you. If you're listening to the Wednesday episodes and the Friday episodes, I appreciate you. Fridays, we have fun on those. Fridays is, get high with the homies. Make jokes about the shit that's been going on. Inform y'all on what's been going on to a small extent. We're just giving y'all our unwanted opinions, really. That's all we're doing. We're giving you guys our unwanted opinions. And if you don't want to listen to the Wednesday episode. Wednesday episodes is me and a guest, Chris X Matt featuring whoever. This episode was Chris X Matt featuring Barbie Bricks. But Fridays is just the good brothers. Kid Tony, Dennis B. Messiah, myself. Sometimes we don't have Tony, so it's Dennis B. Messiah, myself. And I've really been enjoying those episodes. I have so much fun. We start the pod differently. It's music in there. I do a small little DJ set. I'm gonna start doing a little small DJ set, to be honest. And we have hot takes of the week, all the current events that are happening. We give y'all our unwanted opinions. And yeah, if you want to listen, you can listen. And the reception to those have been great as well. People listening. The private support is real. Private listeners is really a thing. I get it. People really out here listening. I know they are. As long as my plays keep going up, I don't give a fuck about the followers and none of that shit. I do want more followers, but the listens are going up. That's what matters to me more. I'm in the podcast game, not in the Twitter game, not in the social media game. That's part of the podcast game for sure. It's a branch of it, but I'm in the podcast game, and y'all, my numbers is going up. So I ain't mad at it. Obviously, someone fucking with this content or someone's listening to do whatever, to steal maybe ideas. Maybe I'm inspiring other people. I don't know, but people are definitely tapped in on the low. And that's fine if you're on the low tapped in. Just don't forget, CHRISPIRACY, do this shit. I will see y'all next week. Chris X Matt, CHRISPIRACY.
Okay. Grab your folders in your bags, it's the end of class. Good looking Chris X Matt. We'll be sure to make it back for the next session that you're hosting. See you bright and early next showing. Grab your folders in your bags, it's the end of class. Good looking Chris X Matt. We'll be sure to make it back for the next session that you're hosting. See you bright and early next showing.